Welcome back. In this segment we're going to look at another form of embellishing your quilts. In the last segment we looked at Suffolk puffs. Also on this quilt I've done some applique work, and as you can see the motif, the shape of a flower. So I'll go through the steps. You might like to create your own flowers or your own leaves to add to your quilts. What I've done to create the shape is I've cut out my shape in template plastic. Now this is quite a pliable plastic that you can draw your shapes onto the sheet of plastic with a soft lead pencil. Once you've done that, then just a normal pair of scissors and you can cut out your shape. We've got our shape, and as I mentioned, to apply the fabric to the quilt you will need some bonding material. Now you will find with the bonding material, on one side it is quite rough, that is your adhesive area. On the other side is a paper which will peel away once you've applied your fabric to the base fabric. So I've cut off a piece of bonding fabric. I'm going to turn it over to the paper side. I've already drawn some shapes on here of the leaves. What I'll need to do is cut them out. Don't go right on the lines, we'll do that later when we're cutting out once we've applied it to the fabric. So I've cut out my shape. I will then go over to my iron and iron rough side down on the back of my fabric. I will iron it onto the fabric. And I've also put a plate onto my iron so it will not scorch the fabric. So I just press my iron down and I iron it and it will adhere to the fabric. We've adhered it to the fabric, and what we're going to do is then peel it off, and you've left with a very shiny surface. This is your leaf shape. We will cut it out. Cut out around along the edges. I'll put my glasses on so I can see a little bit clearer. So we just cut along the edge. Now also I thought I would talk to you about how to choose colours. As you can see here in this piece, my colours are all coordinating, and the way I like to choose my colours is I choose a fabric with a lot of colours, or is a busy fabric, and I will choose colours out of it. Like I've got the brown here, I've also got the green and the blue, and I've picked those up in my other fabrics that I have used. So you'll see that it all does blend together. Also you can see on this where it's been applied to the quilt edge, to adhere it and keep it more secure, I've actually utilised the button stitch off my sewing machine. So do have a go at doing that as well, and that means over time as you wash your quilt, the applique is less likely to wash off. And all I need to do is have my iron on, and then the shiny side down, apply it to my work and just iron it down, and it will stay in place. If I wanted it to stay longer, over a period of time, I could also do the buttons whole stitch off my machine. So do give it a try, and it's great for creating your own shapes and your own designs on your quilts. Welcome back. In this segment, I thought we would go through some of the basic techniques of actually putting a quilt together. The definition of a quilt is 3 layers of fabric. The 3 layers of fabric comprise of your backing fabric, your in-between fabric, which is often your wadding, and then your top layer, which can either be a panel, as what we've got in this case, or some blocks that you've put together, patchwork blocks. Now the idea is that you want your wadding layer and your backing fabric to be 2 to 4 centimetres bigger than your top layer. This is because when you're quilting, it tends to draw the fabric in and shrink it as well. So you need to make sure that the middle fabric and your backing fabric are that much bigger. And especially if you send your quilts off to be quilted, it is quite common practice to ask for the backing fabric and your wadding to be that much bigger. Now, To quilt effectively, you need to have all your layers quite tight and taut when you pin them together. So what I like to use is bulldog clips. So we'll take the top 2 layers off. Now I've ironed my backing fabric and I've spread it over a board. I didn't actually want to put it on straight onto the tabletop because in some cases, if you put it on your good dining room table, you might actually mark it with the pins when you're pinning it together. So a good practice is to have a board or a sturdy piece of cardboard underneath. So I've got my base fabric and I've spread it out, and to get it nice and taut and tight, I'm going to use bulldog clips. So we'll just clip all the way around. These can easily be purchased from a newsagent. Make sure it's nicely smoothed out, no creases. Now we're ready to do our in-between layer. So we'll just re-clamp this, spreading it out nice and flat. Now we come to our top layer and we're just going to spread that out again, nice and flat. Now in this case, you can see it's not coming quite to the bulldog clips. So what we're going to do is, what I like to do is actually use some masking tape and tape it down. So I'll do this all the way around. Now I've taped down, secured down my 3 layers, and what I'm going to do to keep them there, because once I've pinned it all together, I'll want to take it off the board to either hand quilt it or machine quilt it. So we just use our pins and we bring them up through the 3 layers. We start in the centre to start off with, and we work our way out to the outer edges. So I'll just keep continuing this until we've gone to the outer edge, and then I'll be able to take it off and either hand quilt it or machine quilt it. And once we've completed our rows going down, we'll need to go the other way as well. So there we go. So as you can see, quite an easy and effective way of pinning all your 3 layers together to create your quilt.